For assignment 3, you're going to be bringing one of your Rhino models into Revit and developing some views. And we want to make sure that your Rhino model is as clean as possible before you bring it in. You can always come back and look later if you're having issues. I want to look at a couple of models that I've made so I can show you how to identify possible issues and talk about how you might fix them. So let's open this form that I've made. There's a couple of things you can do through Rhino, a few commands that you can run to check the model. In fact, one of them is called check. So you can type in check and then select the object to check, and it'll give you a little readout whether it thinks it's valid or invalid. So it thinks this one is okay, so that's good. You can also do select bad objects, and it will automatically select bad objects. And it says no bad objects selected, so that's a good sign. And then there's one called show edges. You can select it, and it gives a little analysis readout. So for example, if you pick all edges, it shows you the edges in the model. If you pick naked edges, it goes through and looks for gaps in the surfaces. So basically holes in what should be a watertight model. And then and there seems to be none, so that's good. And then non-manifold edges. That means if there is more than two edges sharing one intersection, then that's a non-manifold edge. So doesn't seem to be any there, so that's good. One of the final things that you can do is you can look at it visually. And probably once you get more experience, this is probably the first thing you'll do, but you can see in the shaded mode where things start to turn in on themselves, you'll get some unusual discoloring. So on both these ends, we're getting a little bit of discoloring. Once you identify those areas, you can come in and go to wireframe. And if you zoom in on them, just sort of take a closer look. And where the most complexity is, sometimes you can find a little anomaly like this self-intersecting piece. This could possibly give you problems. From experience, I know that Revit will probably disregard this little piece. It's such a small self-intersection right there. If it were much larger, we may want to go in and rebuild this to get rid of it, either by moving the points around or just re-lofting. But for right now, I'm going to leave it. And then if you come over here and look at this end, you can see that this is sort of spinning underneath that, and you're getting a little crossover right there, but there's no obvious intersections that are occurring. There might be a little bit of one overlap right here, but it looks like it might be coming to a point. So I think we're okay on this one. I'm just going to pan in here and go back to the shaded mode. So although I'm going to ignore that one self-intersection just to test it, I would generally say that having a clean model is your best opportunity for success in the future. If you don't have a clean model, you're going to run into problems not only moving into Revit, but also, for example, going into laser cutting or doing some 3D printing. So if I open this up, here's some contours from that model we were just looking at, and you can see you're getting overlaps in that contour if you're going to laser cut it. This is probably, again, not enough to worry about for the laser cutter, but again, having a clean model is probably the best thing you can do. Okay, so I'm going to stop here for this one, and we'll pick up another model in the next set.